Hello, it's Hump Day with Hollywood Hay today at Gulfstream Park, and a pretty nasty echo today so far, Terry. I hope it dissipates. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing really good, except for the echo, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just when it seems to have gone away. So hopefully it's corrected itself now. Thankfully, oh, went away because you're on mute, huh? Well, that explains it, because I don't know why that happens sometimes, but it absolutely drives me crazy when it does happen. Last night on our show with Sean and with Julie, they had a nice young new trainer on in terms of being new to the business. They got together with Lori Jean Bourne, somebody you're going to want to know. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, make sure you head on over to Horse Racing Radar TV. Terry, did you get a chance to watch that last night? I think you're still on mute. All right. You're shaking his head. Yes, indeed. Good morning, Melvin. How are you today? Good morning. Very good to see you today as well. Tonight, of course, Sean and Julie will be back. Hamdi, how are you? Hope everything is nice in Turkey today. Tonight, I don't know what happened to Terry. He just up and disappeared now. So he apparently he don't want to be here no more. So tonight on Horse Center at 8 o'clock, they're going to have on Willie Martinez, husband of our wonderful Jamie Martinez. So make sure you tune in for that. Who would have known that you're in? Good evening. How are you today? Two strongest and reliable horses. We'll tell you who we like a lot today once Terry comes back. To make sure you catch all of that good stuff, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. While you're there, click on the horseracingtoday.net gear. Get yourself some gear. And then at the same time, subscribe to our social sites. You see them below. Horse Race the number 2 day, Horse Race the number 2 day. And while you're here on YouTube, hit the subscribe button if you have not done so already. And also the bell. So tell your friends about it. So I don't know what happened to Terry. Yeah, no problem, Barry. We're all about community here, like we said. I mean, it's not, we mean it. We're just trying to make, yesterday we get a lot of static sometimes. Like the one complaint we get over and over and over again is that for whatever reason, people get upset that we don't cover the negative side of horse racing. It's not that we don't want to cover the negative side. I mean, we really don't want to cover the negative side. I'm more of a positive person anyway, but if you want negative, turn on the news, right? Just go to just about any other horse racing website and you get all the negative that you need. We're about picks. We're about the people. And if somebody, Barry, like yourself, shares something with us that works, hell, we're going to share it and we're going to give credit where credit goes, my man. We're not one of those folks that's we're not one of those people who try to claim things as their own when they're not. We try to be transparent, right, Terry? Indeed. We got the quiet version of Terry today. All right. So today we're also going to do Gulfstream Park. There are 9 races. We're going to do Gulfstream Park today and tomorrow in preparation for the big races this weekend down there, the Pegasus Invitational. We will have a guaranteed tip sheet, a very detailed wagering guide to make sure you make the most of the big pools. Certainly going to be a lot of them there. And while we're on the guaranteed tip sheet, let's just get that out of the way. If you are going to do Penn National tonight, if you hit the free in the link down below, you'll get tonight's Penn National picks absolutely free from guaranteed tip sheet. All right, Terry, with a shake of the head. Well, you might not be, since you came back and left, you might not be echoing anymore. So let's check that out.
Okay. Am I echoing?
Let me see. Go ahead and talk while I'm talking.
Okay.
No, there's no echo. So that's maybe a little one. We'll see. All right. Let's get rolling with race number 1 at Gulfstream Park. This one's 5.5 furlongs. Made an optional claiming $50,000. The purse is $50,000. Filly's 3 years old, Florida bred, or maiden claiming price of $50,000. The weight $118,000. If we want to look at what the typical winner at 5.5 furlongs on the dirt course, because they have 3 courses there. They have the dirt, Tapeta, and the grass. The dirt course at 5.5 furlongs. Early speed, 49% have gone wire to wire, and you'll see that the post positions are fair. Taking a look at our sheets for race number 1, Terry, well, they're all first-time starters or maybe 1 or 2 races, so we really couldn't go ahead and do what we normally do in terms of our simulations, 1,000 simulations for the odds and for the early speed, but I did manage to put together a very limited version of our way to the winner circle. You have E for speed horses, pilots, EPs, co-pilots, or pilots. Ps are co-pilots. PC's riding coach, or they can pretty much ride anywhere. They're the most versatile horses. You got your closers. They're always in coach. A couple scratches here, some first-time starters. That leaves the 5 and the 9. Of the horses that are in here, it looks like the one, Terry, should be the one that could lead the way, notwithstanding what the first-timers do. And the 4-horse has some late speed in there. So what do you see in terms of who's going to win?
Well, I like the number 6 horse, Buck and Beauty. Finished third versus similar in her last start. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a bullet workout on January 19th.
Now, that word start with a B, right? I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Bullet, yes.
Okay, no. All right, anyway.
Okay. Oh, B, yeah. I get it now. Number 5.
I get it. I'm there too, Terry.
Number 5 is my second pick. She's a first-time starter, has a high percentage winning jockey, and a bullet workout on January 19th. And then number 9, Tinka 2. She's a first-time starter also, whose dam wins has 5 winners from 8 starters and has a high percentage winning jockey. And then my long shots, number 2, Karen Zarner, switches to a high percentage winning jockey and can improve with Lasix being added today. And I'm going to pass on a bet on this race.
So Melvin Torres says his first pick 5 today in race number 1. He's got the 6, the 5, and the 9. Race number 2, the 1. Race 3, the 6, 4, 8. Race 3, the 4, the 7. And in the final leg, 1, 6, 3, and 8. So mark that down. Indeed, good luck to Melvin. And if you have some horses you like today, any thoughts you'd like to share, please kindly do so. In this first race for me, Terry, I'm going to start with the 5, Vaila. This is a bullet and go first timer. If you've been around here long enough, you know I like to look at the workouts. And if the last one is a bullet before the horse goes and makes its debut, that is an alpha angle, according to Barry Meadows from the Skeptical Handicapper. It's found a lot of winners for me and plenty at good prices. Number 6, Buck with a B in Beauty. Top last race speed figure in the debut. Gets Lasix here today and does have a nice workout in between races, so should be sharper. Number 4, Hidden Road. Consistent effort in its debut. Any improvement with the Lasix in race number 2 could be enough to put this guy into contention. And then finally, Aaron's Moment does have some early pace that it showed in its debut. Gets Lasix in another that has some solid workouts, 3 of them in between races. Now, I've been getting disgusted, Terry, because I've been hitting a lot of exactas and missing out on my trifectas with those third picks. So today I said, you know what? I'm going to Buck and Beauty it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do exactas today all day. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 over the 5, 6 and hope to catch some nice prices over my top 2 choices and see how that works out, right?
Yeah. Might work out really well.
Yeah, I'm drinking my I always, you know, it's Diet Mountain Dew, and I drink it because I don't drink coffee and I need the caffeine. Otherwise, I don't function properly, to put it politely, I guess. Race number 2, Mr. Terry. This one is, let's go to race 2. We're talking about 1 mile, claiming 6,250 non-winners of 2 lifetime. The purse is 19 grand, again, on the dirt for 1 mile. You're going to find that early speed wins. 28% of the time, it wins going wire to wire. Post positions 1 through 7. Play fair. There is a little bit of a bonus if you wear the 8 or out. And this is a 1-turn mile. So we've talked about this before. 1-turn miles tend to act a little bit more like sprints than they do routes. If speed does matter, Terry, in race number 2, we do have a couple of horses that are likely to get out and get going.
Yeah, that's the 1 and the 4. It looks like they're going to go right to the front, and the others are going to trail behind, try to come from off the pace. They've got early foot, but you know that 5 horse, he can actually close pretty well, so you might want to watch that one.
All right, for sure. And then as far as the odds are concerned, the 4 horse looks like a 5-1 morning line.
Mm-hmm.
Fair odds closer to 2-1, so that might be one to play. And your 5
Also
horse that you just mentioned there, another one with some short odds. So keep an eye on that. Let's see how that all plays out. In race number 2, we have a very peculiar potential race shape because most of your horses want to be on the lead. You have this lone guy here. This one is almost always dangerous, this lone pressure horse. We saw one win yesterday at 10-1. Of all of these early horses, the 1 horse does have the most early speed with a plus edge at 2 and 4 furlongs. So look for that one to be on the lead when they hit the half-mile marker. And if all this crew goes way too fast, This 6 horse has a very strong 7-point late pace advantage over the rest of this crew. When this race is done, Terry, who's going to be the top prize for you?
I think it's going to be number 7, Gypsy Kitten. He had a disappointing finish in his last race, but he had a lot of trouble at the start of the race. He drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 27% of the races when dropping a horse down 2+ classes. And then number 8, Mundo Mix, is my second choice, finishes. He switches to a high percentage winning trainer. He's ridden by Chantel Sutherland, who I really like as a rider, and has a 4 furlong workout on January 18th. And then number 5, the Twins Sneakers. He ran second versus similar last race, has the highest last speed rating at today's distance, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He's actually tied with another one. And then my long shot is number 2, Fishing for Fun. Finished third versus similar in the last race. I'm going to do a pick 4 here, 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 5, 7, and 8 with the 4, 5, 6, and 8, with the 7 singling in the fourth race, and then with the 1, 5, 6, and 10.
Yeah, we have a $100 budget. It's the $100 challenge. If we go to the track, just, an everyday Joe's going to the track with $100 in our pocket and see if we can't turn it into a little bit more than $100. In race 2, I'm going to start off at Gulfstream Park with number 7, just like Terry. The Gypsy Kitten is the lone P horse, as we saw on that way to the Winter Circle worksheet. She's dropping multiple classes and just only needs to run back to her debut to be effective here. The 1 horse Royal Attitude has a plus early pace edge, through the first half mile. And again, speed does go wire to wire 28% of the time, and Royal Attitude is the most likely to make that happen. Number 8, Mundo Mix, first off the claim, which is a 28% training angle for Jose Delgado. And it's a horse that was better across the board with its internal race numbers last time out, and a nice bullet workout since then. Finally, number 4, Nature Boy, Rick Flair, right? Woo! Because I said so. This one's dropping in class, and I do think getting Irad Ortiz helps. Again, I'm going to go with I'm disgusted, and I'm just going to play exactas all day. Attitude, exacta $1, 14587. It should be 14578. Apparently putting numbers in order is difficult for me. And then the 1-7 on the backside of that exacta. Race number 3, my friend Terry. Let's go over to that one, which is this one is 5 furlongs on the all-weather track. At 5 furlongs on this synthetic surface, there is a tactical speed is the way you get to the winner circle, although 34% do go wire to wire. Get a small rail penalty. Anything outside the rail plays fairly. Again, our simulations give us a little hint of what we might see when the gates open. When the gates open, it looks like Pink Party Pants will be hard to pass.
Yeah, because the only other really speed in there was Scratch St. Joe Jet. So that 4 is going to go out there, and if nothing pushes it, it may just go all the way. Although I really think that it might get pushed from the 8 horse. So that 8's a nice closer. Also, the overlays would be the 4 and the 8, as you can see.
Yeah, and this looks like one of these horses that Barry mentioned in the way he's been using the sheet. A horse that's got a 70%, so 60% chance is the minimum score Barry's looking for, and a overlay or underlay, which depending how you want to call it. But the 2 to 5 morning line odds versus something closer to maybe 7 to 5 are the proper odds. So maybe that's one of those horses that can come through with what we'll call the Barry angle. It's a very good angle. We'll go with that silly pun. The 3 horses out of this race, as is the 7 horse. And then we have a couple of first-time starters in here with the number 1 and the number 2. The 4 horse is dropping in class. That's why it gets that down arrow. It does have a plus early pace advantage, so that horse should be the one that they got to catch. 8's also dropping in class and has a strong late pace advantage in there too. So this kind of race shape, a lot of times I do think they favor the speed horses because there's not that many of them. Who do you favor?
All right. Well, in this race here, I like number 6, Live Like Laura. She has an early foot, and so she's a speed horse, and she ran second versus similar last race after being bumped and has Lasix added today. So Then I like my second choice, number 8. She drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and she has the best all-weather speed among all-weather track speed among today's starters. And then number 4, Pink Party Pants. She drops. Oh, those sounds like something that maybe Charles would wear. She drops in class. Well,
I don't think it's maybe. I don't know.
No, but he wants to dance, right?
Yeah,
Anyway.
but I don't think it's maybe. I think it's absolutely.
Okay.
Yes,
Well,
yes. And they're not just pants; they're probably underpants.
She drops in class today and has a good 4 furlong workout on January 18th. And my long shot's a number 5 horse. She finished third versus similar in her last race and can improve with Lasix being added. And no bet for me in this.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I just paint the mental picture. I just can't get out of my head now.
Uh-oh.
Silly guy. All right. So, I agree. I like the 8 horse here, Terry. Avatel Hero. Better times last out. Big jump in career race number 2. If it has a similar bump in the second start off the bench today, this horse should do well. And trainer Jose D'Angelo, second time Lasix, his horses win a third of the time. Live Like Laura, been close on both for starts on the lead, just to give it up late. So today, I think the horse should benefit from some Lasix here. Barry says he's absolutely going to hit this one hard. Pink Party Pants ran some crazy fractions in the second start. I mean, when you look at, I think like 21 and 44 or something like that, or even quicker maybe. Those were some pretty fast fractions. Hopefully, you won't have to do that here today. Drops in class, second start off a layoff or second career start. We'll see. I think it's second off a layoffs. We'll see how that plays out today, if it can stay up on the front. And then finally, number 2, Labor of Love. To me, this one has the better works of the two first-time starters. Again, the $1 exacta, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 with the 6, 8. You know you're going to catch a palm in here somewhere. So all I need is one of these to come through, and hopefully it can be a profitable day for me.
Yeah.
Been struggling with that lately. Like I said, I get 3 out of 4 out of my pick 4s, 4 out of 5 on my pick 5s. I get the first place horse and the second place horse in my trifectas, and you've just been missing it out by a little bit. But, a little bit is all it takes, right? Because you have to have the ticket right.
That's right.
Race 4. Let's see if we can get this one right. It's a mile and a 16th on the turf. Optional claiming $20,000. Purse of 54 grand. If at your mile and a 16th, you're looking for the horses that typically win. Stalkers do the best, although 18%, so 1 out of 6 go wire to wire. Slight inside 3 bias, 4 and out. Those positions play the same. If we look at race number 4, we'll see there are no scratches, but once again, we see a horse that could be out there all by itself.
Yeah, that 7, boy, got lots of speed, and I think going to break out of that gate like a shot out of a cannon. I don't think anything's going to catch it. And as far as the overlay, it looks like that 3 is pretty nice overlay. So
yeah, it looks like maybe they're going to light its tail on fire right when it comes outside. Yep. For sure. In race 4, our way to the winner circle worksheet, we do see that the 7 does have, I think, a pretty good advantage in here. It is the lone E-horse, 7-point lead over everybody else through the quarter-mile marker. Unquestionably, that one should be the one that's on front. You have more than half of the field that's typically on the backside. So this trio should be able to run a pace that they're comfortable with. If, for whatever silly reason, they go too fast, the 4-horse does have the most late pace out of this crew. Terry, you tipped your hat already. You think the 7-horse is going to go through the gates and never see the backside of a horse again.
That's right. That 7 has a really, really fast early foot, drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey Irad Ortiz Jr.
Mm-hmm. And then he ain't going to let you pass him in the lane.
That's right. He's going to do everything he can to stay out there in front. Number 4 is my second.
This horse will look like those Novas. Remember those old Novas on the highway that used to drive sideways?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm old enough for that, so I guess you are too. Anyway, number 4, Uncle Amando. He has won 3 out of 4 races at Gulfstream Park, so he really likes the track. Has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Number 1, Chess Dreams, my third pick. He finished in the money in 5 out of 6 starts at Gulfstream, and he can handle the distance. I like the 8 as my long shot. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park and may repeat. And I'm going to bet $20 to win on the 7.
It's all out on Uncle Armando, not Uncle Armando, Java Buzz. I'm all out on Uncle Armando. As you mentioned, he's won 3 out of 4 at turf, but those, at Gulfstream, but those are on the turf. And what I find interesting about this horse is that trainer Safi Joseph, trying to put the two names together as one. He's the owner and the trainer. So I like when I see that combination. Number 7, Java Buzz, comes down from New York, has a bunch of really good Palmetto workouts on the turf, getting prepped for today. Number 1, Chess's Dream. It's another that likes the grass at Gulfstream Park. Been on it 6 times, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. And then finally, number 3, Jais Solitude. The simulation says that 7-2 horse should probably be closer to 1-2. So you have to put that one in there. And it does, on top of that, have the best Gulfstream numbers as far as running on the turf is concerned. Now, if my mouse would cooperate, we could venture forward to race number 5. I wonder why does that happen every now and then? Yeah, does that happen to you? Like when you try to engage your mouse, it doesn't show up?
Yes.
And you just got to like spin it and spin it and spin it before. Why does that happen?
I have no idea. And sometimes it's way down in my left-hand corner and then flies up. So
someone's hacking the computer or something, maybe.
Could be.
So race number 5, as you can see, is 1 mile, 70 yards. This one's on that Tapeta course where the jockeys and tell us that you can't hear the horses behind you. It's apparently very quiet. $8,000 claiming race, non-winners of 3 lifetime. The purse is a hefty $22,000. If you look at the mile and 70 yards, it's a very fair surface because it's about 50-50 between speed and horses that come from off the pace. Although, don't expect your horse to go wire to wire because it happens just 11% of the time. The post positions indeed are fair. And if they are going to go wire to wire, Terry, in race number 5, it looks like there's maybe 2 that might be able to get that.
Yeah. It looks like the 2 and the 10 going to go for the front. If the 10 gets a good break, he might outbreak the 2. You just never know about that. I really don't see any overlays in this race.
It looked like the 7 was, but he's not participating today. Got a slight one in the 3 horse there with Cara Pedre.
Yeah.
From 12 to 1 to 10 to 1. So really looks like Peter Aiello did a pretty good job of setting the lines for race number 5. In race 5, we have the 7 and the 9, as I mentioned. They're not in here. We do have a left arrow horse in here that we haven't seen many of these lately. This one is a pressure closer type that does have a little bit of early speed, should be close to the front. The 1 and the 4 can pilot or co-pilot. They both have pretty sturdy early pace, late pace combinations. So I know that speed doesn't win at this distance, but I wouldn't be shocked to see, because there's not like a true burner types in here, to see the winner come from this group. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I actually like the number 1, Downtown Tabby. Matter of fact, it's my pick of the day. She's won 2 out of 3 starts at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. I like the 5 as my second choice. She closed to finish 3rd in her last race after having trouble at the start and drops in class. Number 6, Hot Boat, is my 3rd pick. Ran 2nd versus Tougher in her last race. Drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the number 10, Mia's Authority. She finished in the money in her last 3 starts, and she won one of those and likes the distance. I'm going to make a $20 win bet on the number 1, and then I'm going to play a pick 5. I'm going to single the 1. And then
pick 5 or a pick 4? Because you have pick 4 here. So you're going to go 5?
Pick 5. I'm sorry. Yes.
I know it's okay. We just want to make sure we get it correct. That's
correct.
all. And that's just the great thing about live YouTubing.
That's it.
We're able to do quality control right on the spot.
Yep. Anyway, I want to single the 1 in the first leg, then with the 3-4-5, then with the 2-3-4, then with the 2-7, and then finish up with the 1-3-8.
Sounds like you like a lot of horses on this card today, because you've got a couple singles, a couple bets on them to win.
Yeah.
So hopefully they all work out that way, Mr. Terry.
I hope so.
That is indeed the goal from day to day. I like the Downtown Tabby as my top choice, 2 in Gulfstream Park, race number 5. The rail horse is, as you mentioned, won 2 out of 3 starts. But if you look at the last race, it was the top last race speed figure. And it was by a pretty sizable margin. I've mentioned many times when you see a horse that has, 7, 8, 10 point speed figure advantage over everybody else. I know speed figures aren't the end all be all. They are a very useful tool. And when you get that big of a gap, that horse either has to come down a lot or some of the other ones have to come up a lot. And if everybody just runs their normal race, probably does make easy work. But I do expect number 6, Hot Bod. to maybe challenge a little bit here. Getting incrementally better in race to race was the favorite in its last spot, but got beat. Although it did have better times at 1 mile and 1 1/16 miles versus 1 mile and 70 yards. And trainer Antonio Xano does win 27%. The next time he takes a defeated favorite around the track. Number 5, Castana. Just missed it this last level, last out, and trainer Kent Sweezy, who we will be spending some time with when we get down to Gulfstream Park, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. He wins at 18% in the claiming ranks versus 12% overall. And then finally, that 3-horse, Capadri, should be closing at the end. It is one of the few horses in here, as you mentioned, Terry, that and the 1-horse, where it does look like if they stay at the morning line odds, you could get a little bit of value. I'm being stubborn today. I'm going to stick with my exactas, the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 over the 1 and the 6. I have that ability to be stubborn. It's I don't know. It's part of my 1 mile claiming 12,500 for race number 6 at Gulfstream Park. Again, it's 1 mile. These dirt races for 1 mile on one turn. Treat them more like a sprint than you ordinarily would treat what they call a route, a 1 mile race. And we see that play out with the profile of a winner because 28% go wire to wire. The early speed does have the advantage. 1 through 7, those post positions are fair. 8 and out, you do get a bonus. And for race number 6, we will find that, well, the 3 outside horses are scratched, so that means Tis Romantic is going to be probably impossible to catch.
That's right.
Early.
Yeah, that 3 looks like it's going to go out there in front and maybe not be caught. But if it is caught, I think the 5 might do that. And the 5's a really nice overlay if you look at what's going on there. So it's all speed with all the scratches out of here. It's just all 1 horse of speed.
Yeah, 1 blazer and everybody else chaser. And that 10 to 1 morning line looks like it should be closer to 3 to 4. Our way to the winner's circle worksheet for race number 6 kind of supports that now with that 4-horse too, because it wasn't necessarily, well, the 3-horse could be, a 4-horse could be a contender here too, because he is shown that E-horse, these other 2 scratching out, could give this horse a lot of courage to move forward. The 7 was one of the closers, so you have a lone E-horse with these PC and closer types. These 2 are definitely going to press up in here. So I think you'll see the 3, 4, and 5, that trio in some order on the lead. Probably the 3, but the 4, if it gets out by itself, could be really scary because it could get a lot of courage. You and I both agree, though, it won't pass the 3.
Yeah, that's true. I think the 3 is going to get out there. Tis Romantic finished second in his last 2 races and can improve at the longer distance, But that 4 is also scary. So I've got that as my second pick, Man on the Moon. Finished in the money in 50% of his starts at Gulfstream Park and likes the distance. The number 5.
Did you ever see that movie, Man on the Moon, with Jim Carrey when he was doing, I forget the comedian's name right now, but
yeah. I did. Yeah. It was a good movie. I liked it. So
yeah, it was. I can't believe I can't remember the comedian's name. I remember him from Taxi, but anyway.
I remember him. I remember what he's like, but it's hard to remember him. He actually wrestled with somebody, and I think they had a kind of a bad feeling after that wrestling match.
Yes, indeed. Well, because they said he got into character, and the wrestler didn't realize he was in character constantly.
Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, 5 is my third pick. He finished in the money in 4 out of the last 6 races. He won 2 of those starts. And then number 1 is my long shot to Courtly Manor. Drops in class today and tries turf for the first time, which may be just what he needs. There were a lot of scratches in here, which really changed up how I looked at this race. And I don't have a bet in here.
So Tis Romantic is making the first start off a claim for trainer David Carlos. When he does that, he wins at 32%, by far one of his better numbers. This horse is making Charles his favorite handicapping angle, the 3rd start off fillet off, and the horse is going to get a little bit of a weight break on top of that today. Tone Feeling, the 5-horse, the sim says you have to have him. Well, so there we go. We have him at the 10 to 1 down to 3 to 4 horse. Number 4, Man on the Moon. This one usually runs okay after it had a little bit of rest, some R&R in the barn, has some decent workouts, and again, now becomes the lone E-horse with all the scratches. Then finally, number 2, The Big Gray. Last race was better than it looked on paper, especially the early half of that race. So that one actually is a little bit of an underlay right now too, Terry, because the morning line was 8-1. Looks like it should be closer to 9-2. Again, exacta 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over to 3, 5. And as long as the 3, 5 finishes second, I basically have all on top of it. So I'm not afraid to press that all button. I'm just not going to call it all here. The one in race 2 just announced late scratches. So the one is out in race number 2, Terry.
Uh-oh.
Well, I had him and you did it. So that happens, unfortunately, right?
It does, yeah.
It messes us up. So maybe, let's see. I will have time for me to go back and change race number 2, I think. Let's see, how far are they from race number 1? Race number 1, we got about 8 minutes. So let's power our way through race 7, Terry, and then we'll watch race number 1. And while we do that, I'll adjust my bets for race number 2.
All right.
Race 1 is a mile, 7, excuse me, is 1 mile on the turf, allowance 50,000, taking a purse for only 42 grand. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, a mile on the turf, you do want to have a little bit of tactical speed. 29% though, go wire to wire. So if you're fast enough, you can get to the front. Little bonus on the rail 4 through 7. It gets a little bit of a bonus too. 2 and 3 and 8 and out get a little bit of a discount. I'm when going through this, I see a lot of these post positions at Gulfstream seem to be pretty fair for this track. This is the deepest field in the card. What do you see here, Terry, in terms of early speed and overlays?
Yeah, in this race here, I see that the 3 has a lot of speed, and they scratch the other speed out of here, the 5 horse. So that gives the 3 a little easier time to try to go to the front and go all the way. But you just never know. I think maybe going to get one of those closers going to get it. So anyway, the 2 and the 4 look like the overlays in this race. So
okay, and in race number 7, our way to the winner's circle worksheet, we have, as you mentioned, a couple scratches in here. The 7 the 11 is out. The 5 is not participating. The 13 is not in this race either, which was a horse I had in my picks. Couple of left arrow types in here with the 1 and the 9 closers who have enough early speed to move closer to the front than you might notice them to be on the past performances. The 12 horses in an interesting spot here too. Sometimes these horses can be really scary, these lone PC types, because they really have a lot of versatility. And if the pace, if the pace takes a weird sort of too fast or too slow, they can get themselves in great position. 10 horse does have a lot of late speed in here. I think this race is a little bit of the wide open side, Terry. How did you rank them?
All right. Well, I like in here the number 2, Sal's Dream Girl, finished in the money in her last 3 races, winning one of those, and has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to high percentage winning jockey. Number 4, Charmed Way, is my second pick. She can either lead or come from off the pace, which is a really good thing I like, and the angle. And has a good workout on January 18th. And then number 3, Union Dolly, is my third pick, finished in the money in 4 out of the last 5 races, and she won 2 of those starts. And then I like the 7 is my long shot. Came into Gulfstream Park from Woodbine, and had a nice second finish, only losing by a nose. And then I'm gonna take and make a 50-cent pick 3. I'm gonna bet the 2, 3, 4 with the 2, 7 with the 1, 3, 8.
I'm going to start off with lay the groundwork. This one did run the best speed figure last time out. 50-50 record on second off of the sidelines, whether or not the horse improves. If it does improve, I think this one could be difficult, maybe upset your pick 3. I hope not, Terry, because we both like the 2 as well. Sal's Dream Girl just missed last time out, actually, versus I think I had one of the other horses in here as my top pick. So no, I didn't. So no, just missed last time out versus the 1 horse. Number 4, Charmed Way, dropping. Sal's Dream Girl was also better across the board last time out. She showed a lot more late punch than usual. The 4 horse Charmed Way, dropping in class for the second race after a layoff. And trainer Jane Sibeli does win at 24% in round 2 after some rest. Number 10, Pieter Bella has a 6-point late pace advantage. That's a really nice bullet workout on January the 11th. 1, 2, 4, 6, 10 with the 1, 2 is my exacta for race number 7. Let's take a quick look here, Terry, how close. The thing about Gulfstream Park, it can be 3 minutes to post, but it's really like 10, right?
Yeah, they do that a lot. So
So let's roll back real quick to race number 2 so I can make a correction on this or with the scratch. So in race number 2, instead of the 7-1-8-4, I'm going to go with the 7, 8, 4, and 5. That's going to be the way I rank race number 2 now. And I do appreciate keeping us up to speed. Again, quality control on the fly. You got to love that, right?
that's right. Absolutely.
So with the 1 out, I'm going to replace the 1 in my exacta now will look like this. This is going to be the 7 and 8 in the back end, 7 and 8. And on the front end, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. So 3. Pretty easy edit right there. So that's going to be my new exacta in race number 2 with the 1 horse no longer participating. All right, Mr. Terry. Do we have time? Let me look at the window here. It says 3 minutes. And like I said, when you go to Gulfstream Park, it's that South Florida time, I guess, huh?
Yeah. They take their time, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, they're still talking. They don't even have the horses on the. Samantha Perry's just now talking about the horses. So I don't know.
I see that.
Yeah, she's one that we're going to catch up with too when we're down at Gulfstream Park on February the 4th for the Holy Bull Day. So if you're there on that day, make sure you stop by and say hello. I will be there with the Martinezes and my daughter. So it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
All right.
In race number 8. Yeah, she wants to get out of the cold up here. It's snowing here in Chicago today. I can't wait. All right, 6 furlongs. This one is on the dirt course. It's allowance 54,000. The purse is 54 grand as well. For 6 furlongs at that South Florida track, you got to be fast. Early speed wins 38% of the time. It goes gate to wire. There is a slight inside 3 bias. And when we look at race number 8, Terry, sure looks like there's one that's very likely to go gate to wire. This is another one of those Berry horses with the 60% and the overlay, although I don't think you're going to get any value for this one.
No, you're not. And number 2 has got a lot of speed, but that 4 might come out with it defended. I remember that horse from the past, so you might see something happen there. But there's just a tiny little bit of an overlay on the number 2, and that's about all I see.
Yeah, from 4 to 5, it looks to me like the horse could go off as low as maybe 2 to 5. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1 to 5 horse, to be honest. This is the one you actually hope to beat for sure.
Yeah.
In race 8, the 6 horse is not going to run today. He'll save his talents for another day in South Florida, unlike LeBron James. The 2 horse here does have, and the 4 horse, as you mentioned, those are the 2 that are probably going to go crazy when the gates open. The 2 horse, though, does have a plus 10 late pace edge. So if he's on the lead, he has the most late pace out of anybody in this race. And when you put it together with early pace and late pace, a 16-point advantage over the next closest horse. I mean, these horses, again, once they get to 10 or above, they're horses that you have to have in your picks. In this case, I hope it makes a liar out of me because it is going to go off at 2 to 5. Buck and Beauty. Yes, indeed. That was one that Terry liked, and we both like that horse, right?
Yeah, we do.
I think you had it second. I had it third. In race number 8, Terry, who do you have first, second, and third?
Well, I'm going to try to beat that card favorite with the number 7. Hi, hell, or how are you? Hi, hello, how are you? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She won her debut race easily as the heavily bet favorite, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, has a bullet workout on January 18th, so marks a lot of boxes. Then there's that number 2. She won her debut race at Monmouth Park and has been off for 7 months. But her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. And she's trained by Todd Fletcher and ridden by Irad Ortiz Jr. I like number 1 as my third pick. She won her debut race at Gulfstream Park, and Lasix is added. And then number 4 is my long shot, defended, drops in class today, switches to a high percentage winning jockey, and should improve while returning to dirt. No bet for me in this race.
All right, so I'm going to go real quick because they are lining up. The 2-horse in here, Money's Gold. This horse debuted with a triple digit speed figure. You only really see that ever with stakes quality horses. If this could be one. Hi, hello, how are you? Won the debut with ease as the 90-cent favorite. Does have a few slick workout sense for that 7-horse. Number 1, Jolly Miss Jill went wire to wire in her debut. Pulled away late. And then finally, the 4-horse defended. Should be a part of early pace. The question is, can she hang on? We have the same 4 horses in a little different order, but I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 over to 2, 7 exacta, hoping today that it is an exacta crazy day. Race number 1 is about to get started. So in race number 1, I have the 5 and the 6. The 6 right now, Buck and Beauty is your morning line favorite, is your post time favorite, excuse me, at 3 to 5. So it looks like Terry's top pick. Looks like everybody out there watching the show is out there just loading up on Terry's picks today.
We'll see what happens. You got a nice 4-1 on that 5, right?
Well, the 5 right now is 5 to 1.
Well, is it? Oh,
And then the next closest horse after that looks like the 1 horse at 9 to 2.
Yeah, see, my TV's behind a little, so.
And then let's see. Well, I mean, from my exacta, I would love for it to go 2-5. That would pay for the day right away.
Yeah.
Because it's the 24 to 1 shot over the 5 to 1 shot. That would be a heck of an exacta to begin this Hollywood Hay Hump Day.
It would be.
Looks like they're all in the starter's gate. And speaking of which, we put up a nice short last night to introduce you to the crew that does the starting gate work at Tampa Bay Downs. You can find that over at Horse Racing Radar TV right here on our YouTube station. So make sure you go check out those shorts. Jamie filled them. I did a little bit of work on them in terms of the editing. I got to get a little sharper, but we'll see if we can get that done. Well, Buck and Beauty right now is on the lead, followed by the 7-horse one that I do not have in my picks. Then the 9-horse. Where in the world is the 5-horse? He's all the way in the back, so he did not break very well, I suppose. The 6-horse does look like it's running pretty easily. I'm going to need that 1-horse on the rail to kind of sneak up there and get in front of that 6 for my exacta to come home. Let's see, does he have a chance to do it? It's going to be the 1 or the 6, I think, is your winner. But it does look like the 6-horse is going to be pulling away all by itself. And then the 5-horse is rallying late. So maybe the 5-horse can get, it's not going to happen. It's going to go 6, 1, and who's this? Oh, somebody coming late, Terry. You know who it's going to be? The bomb horse. So it's going to be 6, 1, and 2, 7, I think.
Oh, wow.
6, 1, 2, 7. So I should have done my trifecta today. See, this is what's been going on with me lately. I just can't do anything. Charles showing up with the Let's Go Niners.
All right.
Conversation. All right, so the last race of the day for us at Gulfstream Park after the opener, where the 6-horse did indeed win, Buck and Beauty at a short price, 4 to 5. The last race is a mile and a 16th on the turf. The turf is firm today. The claiming price for that last race today is $20,000 with a purse of $32,000. At a mile and a 16th, you typically want to ride horses, if you're a jockey, that are stalkers. Although 18% do go wide to wire, there is a slight inside 3 bias. If you wear a 4 out, really no advantages or disadvantages. As far as the early race advantage in race number 9, Terry, that looks like 2 horses perhaps can stake claim to that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the 3 and the 1 look like they're going to go to the front. They may get a little competition from that 8-horse, though, anyway. And the overlays are the 8-horse, which is the one I'm thinking they might get a little competition from. But we'll have to wait and see what happens there.
Yes, indeed. You don't want to mess with Tess. The 7-horse is scratched. And we see a shape, again, that could favor 1 horse in particular here, because all of these folks back here are usually mid and back. The 6-horse can be a pilot or a co-pilot. I think a good chance today it's going to be the pilot. Maybe a little bit of competition from the 3-horse in here. The 2-horse is the one that has the most late energy, 6-point advantage over everybody else. So I think you could see the 6 out here and all that other group back here trying to chase him down. The question is, can they do it, Terry? If they do, who will it be?
Well, let me see here. I think that what'll happen is the number 3-horse will take this one. She's the North. She has won 2 races in a row and now going for a hat trick and has a high percentage winning jockey. Number 1, Wicked Mercury, won 2 races in a row and then finished second, only losing by a neck after being bumped during the race. 8 is my third pick. She finished in the money in 6 out of the last 7 races, winning 3 of the starts, has a high percentage, the highest last speed rating. I like number 6 as my long shot, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and I don't have a bet in this race either.
So Juice appreciates you, Terry. I'm sure Terry appreciates that.
Oh.
And mentions Buck and Beauty goes bang at $2.40. And Charles, don't bet the NBA. So stay away from the NBA, Charles. Or horses, for that matter. All right. And finally, for me, I go with my Matthew McConaughey again. All right. The three horse, She's the North, won 2 in a row. It typically does get better in race number 2 after a layoff. The 1 horse, Wicked Mercury, is a neck away from winning 3 in a row, potentially better in the third off. Kids, and I know you're not supposed to get Mercury, but I don't know about you, Terry. Maybe this explains a lot about me. But when we were kids, like with the thermometers, if they broke,
yeah,
they all had Mercury in them, right?
Right.
And there was that little silver ball, and you can you could play for like hours with it, just kind of like knocking it around your desk, because you put one little ball in the other, would get bigger, and then you could kick it and would roll around. It was kind of interesting. Like there was no friction with it at all. And maybe that explains my inability to remember anything now.
Could be. I had to work with Mercury a lot as an instrument man at the refinery. I had a lot of different instruments that used Mercury, like Le Dubel, which was a level instrument. But they back then they didn't really let you know there was that much danger. So I was like you; I used to play with it all the time.
So I wonder how much danger there. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, and I don't stay at a Holiday Inn Express. But I mean, I wonder, because I know every kid did it, and yet it seems like we're all doing all right. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a matter of opinion, I guess. All right,
Yeah.
Emirates Affair, the 6 horse, could be up front by itself because of the race shape as the lone EP type. There's no excuse for this one to go too crazy on the early fractions. Good, easy fractions. Could be one of those horses that goes wire to wire at the distance. And then don't mess with Tess. That 8 horse does have the top last race speed figure, and trainer David Carlos wins at 24% in the claiming ranks, which is an alpha angle for Mr. Carlos, because typically he wins at 19%. Although it disappointed me in the first race, I'm going to have faith today. My exacta strategy will pay off. 1, 3, 6, 8, and 9 over the 1 and the 3. All right, Terry, here are our full picks for the entire day today. Race 1 again is in the books. The 6 horse did win that first race, followed by the 1 and then the 2. So if you played that 6-1-2 trifecta in race number 1, you probably didn't get paid a whole lot, but let's see, the 2 might have boosted it a bit. $25.80. The exacta paid $7.80
for $1.
For $1, yeah.
That's good.
How do I not have the exacta? Because the 1 horse because I needed the 5 or the 6 finish second. Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's just been the way things have been going for me, folks. Just a touch off. Later on tonight, as we mentioned, make sure you join Sean and Julie for Willie Martinez on Horse Center. If you like what you saw here today, kindly hit the like button on Facebook and on YouTube. If you haven't done so, please subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social sites below. We have a lot of great content. Should be some really cool stuff coming out, hopefully in the middle of February. So keep an eye out for that. We'll be announcing it. Maybe a chance for you to make some money too. So we'll talk about that once all those details are finalized. And Terry and I, again, getting prepped for this big weekend at Gulfstream Park. We'll do Gulfstream again tomorrow. Plus, we're kind of sick of the bad weather at Aqueduct and then watching 3 or 4 horse races. So let's get some sunshine. Let's get some fun. Let's get built up for Saturday, Terry.
That's right.
Any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Well, I just know that it's been really nice here in California, at least here after all those storms. And I know you guys got the storms that went through here, so I hope you're doing better. And I just hope everybody has a really great rest of the week, and that you tell your loved ones how you feel about them.
Yeah, and one of the things you can do if you want to tell your loved one how you feel about them and they like horse racing, you can head over to Winning Touches. There's a link in the description down below. Get yourself some pink horse racing socks to go with your pink dancing pants there, Charles. Go watch the earlier races and you'll see that I'm not the one for blame to that one. And you can find all that stuff over at Winning Touches. If you do have a horse racing fan in the family or you yourself, and you just want to get yourself some cool horse racing stuff, head on over to that. There is a link down in the description below. That takes us through today, Terry. No matter if you're betting at Gulfstream Park, later on tonight, You're at Penn National. Tomorrow night, we should have a pretty good show. We're going to have on Scott Fiedler, who is a expert at winning bunches of money in these horse racing handicapping contests. So we're going to get his insights to how he does his strategy to pick what horses. So I got a feeling that when you're handicapping for those contests, it's different than if you're handicapping to go to the track, right? So Barry wants to know, which one of your singles do you like the most today? The 1 there or the 7 that you had? I think you said the 1 horse was your bet of the day.
Yeah, I like the 1 the best.
And that was in race number
5, I think.
5, yes. 20 to win on the 1 for Terry in race number 5. And that is Downtown Tabby.
I would also play, for me, I'm going to play a $20 double from the 4 to the 5, from the 4th race to the 5th race. So,
and what would you put in front of it in race 4?
That'd be the 7 horse, right?
Oh, so you got the 7. So you're going to play a $20 ice cold 7-1 double, right? That's what you're going to do?
That's right.
So keep that in mind. Terry didn't put it in his bets today, but that's another one that you might want to watch in there as well. And again, in the one, which race was it in again, where we had the and in race number 3, Barry really likes, because of the 60% and the overlay here on the 4 horse, likes that one a lot. The Charles's Pink Party Pants is going to do well today. All right, whether you're just having some fun today, you're rooting for Pink Party Pants, otherwise known as Charles. No matter what you do today, we certainly hope it only ends up in one place, Terry, and that can only be
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for Trifecta Terry Thursday, again at Gulfstream Park.